All right, let's get right into it. We're about to pull on a thread that unravels a story hidden in, of all places, a public patent citation. Now, this isn't just some boring legal footnote. No. This is a breadcrumb, a clue that leads us straight into the heart of a secret operation so sophisticated it's almost hard to believe. You're going to see exactly how public, taxpayer-funded science got funneled into a top-secret propulsion program, the very program that built the engine for the craft we call the orb. And here's the part that'll really get you. The core technology, this massive breakthrough in physics, it wasn't stolen. This wasn't some cloak and dagger spy mission by a foreign power. Not at all. It was grown, it was nurtured, it was perfected, right out in the open, right under our noses. And they used our own public funds and the mind of one incredible, unsuspecting physicist to do it. The sheer audacity of it is just stunning. They didn't hide this in some deep, dark bunker. They hid it in the open, using the bureaucratic maze of government grants and corporate firewalls as the perfect camouflage. So, how in the world did they pull this off? We're going to follow the trail. First, you'll meet the brilliant physicist at the very center of it all. Then, we'll see how his public research was unbelievably cracking the exact same code as a top-secret program. After that, we get to the smoking gun, the one piece of evidence that just blows the whole thing open. And finally, we'll get into the truly chilling implications of this perfect cover-up. Okay, Section 1, a physicist at the center. To really get this story, you have to start with the man whose genius made this all possible. So, this is Dr. Simon Woodruff. The man is, by every measure, a genius. A PhD plasma physicist, CEO of his own company, Woodruff Scientific. But here's the key. He's what you'd call a gray track support node. That means he's an unclassified, independent scientist whose public work is absolutely essential to a much bigger, clandestine program. He's operating in the light, but his work is feeding the shadows. And just look at his resume. It's incredible. A postdoc at Lawrence Livermore, deep collaborations with the Princeton Plasma Physics Lab and Los Alamos. I mean, even the choice to put his company in Santa Fe, New Mexico was no accident. This background puts Dr. Woodruff at the absolute core, the intellectual and physical epicenter of the entire U.S. national lab system. He's not just some outsider. He is deeply woven into the very fabric of the establishment that pioneered this tech. He was, frankly, the perfect asset. And you have to understand, the problems he was tackling were monumental. This quote here, it really gets to the core of it. What it's saying in plain English is that he was observing a ball of plasma staying stable for way longer than it had any right to. I mean, it completely baffled the standard models, what's called MHD. The physics said this thing should have basically torn itself apart in an instant. But it didn't. And solving that paradox, figuring out how to tame that beast, that was the key to unlocking everything. And that's exactly where Dr. Woodruff's incredible mind came into play. All right, on to Section 2. This is where it gets really interesting, because Woodruff Scientific's research wasn't just sort of related to the secret program. No, it was laser-focused on solving the exact same fundamental physics problem. So the key piece of tech here is called the compact torus. Now, think of this as a family of plasma shapes. It includes something called an FRC. That's the secret sauce for the Skunk Works secret reactor, and another type called a spheromac. But here's the crucial part. It doesn't matter what you call it. Whether it's a spheromac for the public research or an FRC for the Black program, you are wrestling with the exact same beast. The physics challenge is identical. How do you create, stabilize, and then violently compress this donut of plasma? Both sides were obsessed with solving this exact same puzzle. And this is where we find the money trail. This number right here, $749,994. That's not a random figure. It is the definitive link, straight from the Department of Energy. And here it is, the 2007 Government Award to Woodruff Scientific. Just read the title. Production of strong magnetic fields in a spheromac by compression of a compact torus plasma. This is it. This is public, taxpayer money being used to de-risk and solve the hardest technical challenges for the secret Skunk Works program, all out in the open. This chart just lays out the brilliant strategy perfectly. On the left, you've got the gray track, Woodruff Scientific, publicly solving plasma compression. On the right, the black track, Skunk Works, secretly doing the exact same thing for a revolutionary power source. One calls it a spheromac, the other an FRC, but the physics is the same. One is funded by a public grant, The other is buried deep in the black budget. This right here is a classic playbook move. You use a smart, agile outside company to do the hard R&D in the open to support your real classified goal. Okay, Section 3, the smoking gun patent. Now we get to the absolute heart of this. We've got these two parallel programs, one public, one top secret, both working on the same problem. They are intentionally and professionally firewalled from each other. So the billion-dollar question is this, right? How do you prove the connection? How do you find that one thread that ties together two programs that were built from the ground up to have absolutely no visible connection? Well, the answer is hidden in the one place they couldn't scrub clean, the intellectual property records. So here's Exhibit A. This is the patent application from Dr. Simon Woodruff and his company. The title is Crystal Clear, Device for Compressing a Compact Toroidal Plasma. And right there, it says it was funded by the Department of Energy. This is the brilliant, totally unclassified work from the Gray Trek. And now, Exhibit B. This is the patent from Lockheed Martin, and look at the inventors, Thomas Maguire and Gabriel Ivan Font. These are the known technical leads for the Skunk Compact Fusion Reactor program. This is the IP from the Black Track. Now, on the surface, they look like two totally separate things from two separate companies, but the connection is buried deep inside the legal filing. The citation. Deep inside the Lockheed Martin patent filed by Maguire and Font, it explicitly cites Dr. Woodruff's patent application as relevant prior art. And folks, this is the smoking gun. A patent citation isn't like a casual mention. It's a formal, legally significant declaration. It is, let's be clear, incontrovertible proof that the most sensitive, top-tier technical team at Skunk was watching. They were monitoring, they were aware of, and they were directly influenced by the specific research Dr. Woodruff was doing with our tax dollars. This is it, the bridge between the two worlds. And that brings us to our final section, secrecy and the orb. Because this discovery leads to a deeply, deeply disturbing conclusion. This isn't just a story about a cool scientific breakthrough. It's about what that science was ultimately twisted into. Now, you're probably thinking, okay, if they were connected, where are the contracts? Where are the emails, the personnel transfers? We looked, and there's nothing, not a shred of a public paper trail. And this is the final chilling piece of the puzzle. In the world of counterintelligence and real operational security, that absence of evidence isn't a sign of no connection. It is positive proof of a professionally managed, ruthlessly compartmentalized operation. This is exactly what success looks like for a black program. So let's just lay out the whole operation. It's breathtakingly clever. Step 1. The Department of Energy acts as the perfect cutout. They provide the public funding to Dr. Woodruff's Gray Track research. Completely legitimate. Step 2. The brilliant Dr. Woodruff, working out in the open, cracks the code. He solves the huge problems of plasma compression. Step 3. Meanwhile, the Skunk Black Track program is just watching. They monitor his progress and secretly pull his unclassified breakthrough right into their classified world. And then, step 4, weaponization. This perfected technology, born from public science, is what enables the insane power, the unbelievable performance of the craft we see in the MH370 orb video during Operation MH370. Think about that. A revolutionary technology funded by all of us and weaponized in total secrecy. And that just leaves us with one final, very unsettling question. This is what they built by co-opting the work of just one physicist. It really makes you wonder, what other public science have they secretly harvested? What else have they built in the shadows?